I'm back again on this Friday with this Q&A series. Please make sure that you keep on showering your questions in the comment box because I love reading your comments and answering your questions. So let's get started with today's question. Today's question has been asked by Ms. Hazel. Let's read out loud what she's asking. So Hazel asks, I had a Bell's palsy for both sides of my face. The first one was in 2010 and the second one was on 2024. And both are not fully recovered. Until now, I do massages at home. Is there a possibility that my face get back to normal as before? Thank you, Hazel, for asking this question. Now, two-sided Bell's palsy is a tricky situation because both sides are weak. At the same time, the nerve is trying to reorganize itself and trying to find its own path. Sometimes when this path is not reached in the right way, wrong muscle starts getting activated and there is a very good risk of synkinesis development. That's not all. Synkinesis can be felt way more on the previous side of Bell's palsy than the recent side. And this can get worsened as you force facial movements or force facial exercises. That's why the rehabilitation has to be done in a very cautious way. Coming to your question, whether it is possible to completely recover or not, well, here the answer depends on your nerve status. Your recovery is dependent on how your nerve heals. Let's say if your nerve has not healed completely, there is certain amount of nerve damage that has happened. In that case, you have to rely on the other nerve cells that are alive to take over the task and retrain the facial muscles. In that case, you will be able to move the muscles that are not moving effectively right now. But the problem is this, that these muscles, even though they will be moving, they will be slightly weaker and slightly different than the way they were moving before. So you have to accept this point that even though Bell's palsy and synkinesis at such an old stage do not recover 100%, but the right rehabilitation can retrain these facial muscles to move in its optimal capacity. That's not all. As I told you, that the synkinesis is at major risk at this time. Working on synkinesis is extremely important because it can give you a pull in the opposite directions, making mouth movements difficult, making eye movements difficult, and making face far more restricted. That's why doing bilateral facial training is extremely important. I hope this answers your question. Right, now let's move on to the second question, which is asked by Mr. Ramesha. Now the question is, while speaking, the eye contracts and gets small. How to get rid of this, ma'am? Please share some exercises for the same. Thank you, Ramesha, for asking this question. Well, if your eyes are getting small while speaking, the problem is not the eyes but your mouth muscles. If your lip muscle, which is called as orbicularis oris, is weak, it's not appropriately functioning, it will try to take help from the adjacent muscle where your cheek muscle also comes into the picture. Since your cheek muscles are connected to your eye muscles, they will pull it as well, making your eyes look smaller. So, in order to work on this, you need to make sure that you work on your lip muscles. Again, as I mentioned, that the exercises are very personalized and can vary individual to individual, but I will give you 3 tips that you can definitely follow. Tip number 1, always encourage that your mouth is sealed strongly. What do I mean by that? Whenever you are resting or you are not doing anything consciously, pay attention. What is the position of your lips? Is your mouth closed or mouth staying open? If your mouth is closed, is your mouth sealed enough? That means, is the strength of the mouth closure is equal on both the sides? If not, pay a little more attention to try to seal your mouth enough. The more you seal your mouth, the lesser the strain will be on the eyes. Yes, it is possible that initially when you start doing it, that will not happen, but with practice, that will definitely happen. Tip number 2, whenever you feel that your eye is getting strained while speaking, make sure to apply gentle pressure on the areas of the eyes where you feel that contraction. Most of the time, this pressure is felt on the lower eyelid region and the outer upper lid region. So it's important to use your fingers and dab these areas, which will allow the eye muscles to relax. Third tip, try to speak little slow at a slow pace. Don't rush to complete a sentence. While communicating, use your hand gestures. Keep your body language as relaxed as possible. Many a times I have seen people put lots and lots of effort while speaking on the good side. That's when you are trying to speak fast, that too from the good side, the affected side has to put equal amount of effort to allow the same movement to happen, which when they are not able to do it, they start taking help from the eye muscles. That's where it leads to eye contractions. So make sure that you speak slowly. Try to speak in a way where you diversify your communication source with your body language, with your hand gestures, and use small minimal words. With these 3 tips, you would be able to get reduction in your eye closure. If you want further help related to this problem, feel free to reach out to us so that we can help you better. So friends, these were the questions that were asked in the comments of the last week videos. If you want me to answer your questions next week, feel free to put your comments in this video so that I can read out loud and can solve your queries. So friends, let's see you in the next week in next video. Bye-bye.